Coming up on today's episode of Technoid, it looks like Google's Pixel launch is going to have a few surprises up its sleeves, and I'm going to explain in this episode what other products you should expect for the Pixel event on September 30th. Also on today's episode, Google teases a Gmail facelift that will hopefully revamp the branded email service that really a lot of people say is pretty good, but I've never really used it, but we'll see what Google has planned up their sleeves. Also, today's episode, tvOS 14 has been released along with all of the other softwares, and it seems that 4K YouTube is still not available, but it doesn't look like that will be the case for long. And lastly, the A14 Bionic gets its spec sheet breakdown, and I'm going to explain to you why this not only solidifies Apple's in-house CPUs, but I think it pretty much ends the whole spec war in Android and iOS and basically from Snapdragon whatsoever. All of that on today's episode, so stay tuned. Yo, what's happening everybody? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid, and in today's episode guys, as you saw at the beginning of the episode, we are rich full of stories that I gotta get through, so I really hope you have time to stay for the full video. Now, I wanna get the disclaimers out of the way. Disclaimer number one, if you are returning to the channel, thank you as always. I saw we have an increase in subscribers. Thank you to all the new people subscribing for the first time. Thank you so much. We are almost at 2,000 subs, literally before the end of the year. If we can hit 2,000 subs before the end of 2020, that will honestly be the best gift I could ever ask for. So thank you guys. But again, if you are new and considering and want to help me hit that goal, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on your notifications so you do not miss when I upload. All that out of the way, let's get it going. So story number one, before we talk about the Google Pixel launch event, and before we also talk about the Google Pixel event as a whole, let's get these side stories out of the way. So the first one we're going to start with is the Apple A14 Bionic. Now, as you know, Apple released the A14 Bionic spec sheet on their website, but also discussed it in great detail. The 5nm CPU has pretty much become a significant benchmark for what in-house CPUs can do, and according to the latest readings, it seems that this whole spec war is kind of over. So according to the notebook check, the A14 Bionic's SoC reveals that the smallest generation-on-generation leap is not only the biggest significance to not only an iPad and an iPhone, but for literally, from what the website says, the entire mobile industry as a whole. According to the website, the A14's performance is uncompromised, unpacked, and most of all, unprecedented. According to the website, they claim that not only will the CPU and GPUs go head-to-head with Ultrabook x86, but that the CPU can literally go up against an i9 and AMD's highest-end gaming CPUs, etc., etc. They're saying that the intense 3D graphics in the A14 are far beyond the reaches of anything that the Qualcomm Snapdragons or the Samsung Exynos can do. Now, of course, Google has something in the wing with their own in-house, but the reason that I think this is the end of the whole spec war is because for years and years we've known that Apple has always made good in-house CPUs. This kind of just solidifies that claim, and another reason why so many people like to keep their Apple products. The fact that its performance is at peak from the day you open it and it still runs just as well is incredible. And I don't think I need to say anymore. I think I've said it for years. I will always love Apple's in-house CPUs, their in-house hardware and software capabilities, and also their long-lasting longevity, whatever the word is. So that's really all I got to say on that. Story number two, let's talk about tvOS. Now, as you know, tvOS 14 brings a lot of good capabilities to the Apple TV ecosystem. Of course, there is a rumor of a refresh coming around the corner. Most notably, it's going to be an A12X chip, they're saying. But according to 9to5Mac, the tvOS still does not allow for 4K YouTube videos. Now, something I want to point out, iOS 14 does enable 4K videos on iPhones. Now, it should be noted that some users are saying it's only the 11 Pro and Pro Max. However, I cannot confirm that, as I haven't heard from users that use the XS or the iPhone 10. So I cannot confirm or deny, but it is confirmed that 4K YouTube videos are supported on the iPhones finally, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case for tvOS. So according to 9to5 Google, and of course from Team YouTube themselves, A user asked on Twitter, there is still no 4K support on tvOS 14, what is going on? And Team YouTube respond with, sorry about the back and forth, jumping in to clarify, the Apple TV 4K will support playback soon. Stay tuned for an update. Now this is neither Apple nor YouTube's fault. Well, kind of could be YouTube's fault because they're the developer, but realistically the only reason that we're having this kind of problem is because, again, it all comes down to the developers, and I really hope that YouTube kind of finally releases it, because tvOS to me has been capable of handling not only the 4K, but it has Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos with software enabled support. And honestly, I feel it's a shame, because if the iPhones can do it and tvOS can't do it, that's not really cool. So get on your crap, whoever's running this show. All right, now let's head over to Google. So the first story for Google is that Gmail facelift. So according again to 9to5Google, the sister company of 9to5Mac, or the website, whatever it is, it says here that Gmail is looking to be revamped from an internal source from 9to5Google. According to the source, they were sent images showing a flat later design language showing that the Gmail logo and some internal shapes have taken effect and will be going effective come the next event. Now, of course, they don't explain what exactly this event is. Most people are saying the September 30th event. That's when they're going to release the Pixel 5 and all that stuff, but I'll get to that in a second. But they're saying that this will also be a significant upgrade to Gmail. Gmail will not only have a better design, it will help stand in with the rest of the Gmail logos. Because if you take a look at Gmail and all the rest of Google icons, you can clearly see that it doesn't feel compatible. The colors are off, the tone of it is just off, the design of it is off. So if Google was to give this thing a revamp and a facelift, this would be a good thing. I honestly wish they would just make it clean and easy to use, because I get so confused with Gmail. I'm just saying it for myself. But we'll have to wait and see when they'll do this. But again, the rumors are pointing to this supposed event. Now let's talk about that event and spend some time on that for the rest of the episode. And the last story, the main story for the day, the Google Pixel 5 launch event. Now, as you know, I didn't really talk much about this, and there is another Samsung event that's happening right now called the S20 Fan Edition. I could give a care less in the world for that, and I don't think anybody else does. Like, oh, come on, how many more Samsung phones do we need? But with Google, however, we do need some new phones, and that's why I'm going to spend some time talking about this. Now, according to The Verge, of course, we do know that the Google Pixel 4a, 5G, and the Pixel 5 are slated to be released at the September 30th event, as Google has confirmed this as well. However, though, there are a lot of rumors and internal sources saying that Google is not only considering releasing the 4a and the 5, but a couple of other products as well. And after taking a look at the rumors, I've listed out two products that I believe, in my opinion, now again, this is completely speculation, but I do have some evidence to claim this, so I hope that I'm not misleading you. I don't want you to believe some false things. This is my personal opinion, but I believe that Google will release a brand new smart speaker and finally release the updated Chromecast. So starting with the speaker, I'm gonna assume it's going to be a Nest smart speaker. Now, of course, it was confirmed back in July that Google was working on the speaker, and it did leak. However, we never did see the release, and while it did come and go, a lot of people didn't bring it up. I think that that's the speaker that's going to be released, and I think that's going to take the place of the Google Home Max. I do believe that that will be released, and I do have a feeling, because again, it was leaked in July, so it makes sense for them to push it to October. Now let's talk about that Chromecast device, and honestly, do I really need to talk about it? I've been saying in all of my previous episodes, this thing was bound to be released sooner. The posters, the internal sources that have been confirming this on the website end, not on my end, but also taking a look at the marketing images, also the retail images, the retail listings, all of this go back and forth. I have covered every single thing about the Google TV, Android TV's replacement. Now, of course, it is going to be replacing Chromecast with Android TV, which I think is a smarter choice on Google's end, but I think that if they release this in time with the Pixel 5 and the 4a and the Nest speaker, this would fit perfectly into a new ecosystem that Google seems they want to move towards with the integration of Android TV. Because again, they run Android, so it only makes sense if they want to do that. So for me, I think the Chromecast and the Google Nest speaker are going to be the extra two products that go on. Now, of course, The Verge does release this in their article. Obviously, I'm not just banking off, but they don't go into this little bit of detail that I just explained with my evidence and also things that I've covered. But there have been other speculations saying that there is going to be a third Pixel device. There's supposed to be a special Pixel device. According to the FCC listings, there is another device, but I want to just shoot that down real quick. Google is not releasing a special edition phone. These are just the variant models that will be releasing in countries like UK, Canada, Ireland, France. So these are the foreign edition of the phones. And if there was another device that does say US, I'm gonna put a big assumption that that is gonna be the 5G ultra wideband version for Verizon. Because as you know, Verizon always has an exclusive. So I don't want you guys to be misheard. I don't want you to believe that they're working on a special edition of the Pixel. I don't want you to believe this crap. Just know if you see rumors saying, oh, we're getting more Pixel devices, just know it's the international models and possibly the Verizon 5G edition. So don't be a victim to that. And that's it for today's episode of Technoid. Now guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody, and peace!